Yo, what is good, post credit clarity family? I am Billy Hollick with my co-host Zay. Zay, say something.
Zay is here, I
He's
guess.
here, yes, and we are here talking about Supergirl. Really quick, Zay. 1 out of 10. What did you think of Supergirl?
I'm gonna say, I'm not even gonna say that. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm gonna say it's a 4 out of 10 though.
4 out of 10. Guess what? I'm gonna get it.
What?
The same thing. Four,
Four
four
out of
out of
10?
ten.
Yeah, bruh.
Yes, yo.
This is
4 out of 10.
below average, bruh.
Yeah, you gotta tell me why you rated it 4 out of 10, though, bro.
Can I, bruh, if I'm being honest, bro, I went into this movie with like not high expectations, not like, oh, I'm about to see cinema, because I saw the trailers. I was there. I was there for the marketing. It wasn't that good, so I wasn't really expecting anything crazy, but I was like, okay, this is gonna entertain me for 2 hours. It might have some problems, but it's gonna be like, cool, entertaining comic book, slop. Imagine my surprise when I'm just sitting here bored for the entire runtime, an hour and 47 minutes, I think it was. I'm just bored, bro. I'm just watching like, oh my God, this is hard to get through.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I honestly, when people ask me what I thought of it, I literally said like, "This is a generic, regular superhero movie." Like, so if you're going for it to be different, or if you're going for it to subvert your expectations, don't expect that. But it definitely being in the theater, it was hard to get through certain parts because one, it was slow, but two, I know what's gonna happen. Like there were so many times
Exactly.
I could have had a counter on my phone to count like how many times it was, oh no, they're about to die. Psych. Like that happened way too many times in the film for me to be like, oh, okay, this is a good film. And to be honest with you, I want everybody to understand our rating has nothing to do with misogyny. That's been like this big issue
Facts.
for Supergirl. Like, and it's honestly sick. There's been so many people treating this actress like the worst like they've been calling her the worst things. They've been posting like edited pictures of her online, and it all boils down to just her being a woman, and it fries the hell out of me, bro. Because it's like if you're going to critique a film, critique a film. If you're going to say it's a bad film, say it's a bad film. But don't say it's a bad film just because she's a woman. Like, what are we doing? And not only that she's a woman that you're not attracted to. And I remember a couple of months ago, I asked Zay, I was like, hey, Zay, do you think that's going to play a part into like how people receive the movie? And Zay, being the non misogynistic person he is, being the hopeful person, was like, nah, why would it? And we both like were like, yeah, why would it? And we moved on. Clearly, people are more like are worse off than what
People are insane.
people are insane because the way they've been treating her, the way that I've seen a video of like even the people, one of the photographers on the red carpet like treated her as an afterthought to get to the who's the guy who plays Superman recently?
David Cornsweet?
Yeah, and David had to like step in and be like, "Hey, nigga, this is her movie. What are we like? What are you doing, bruh?" So like, yeah, the our 4 out of 10 has nothing to do with misogyny, even though the internet is the most misogynistic place ever.
And like to even step more into that, and it has nothing to do with misogyny, I think Millie Alcock was great in the movie.
She
I think
good.
that her as Supergirl, her chemistry with Superman, I think that throughout the whole movie, she is doing the best she can to make this dog shit script work on screen. She's doing the best she can, bro. So I think I'm still when we mention Millie Alcock, like I'm hyped for her in the next. I think she's in Man of Tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
hyped for her chemistry, to see her with the other DC characters. I'm definitely hyped to see her. So this has, again, like we said, this has nothing to do with her being a woman. The movie is just really fucking bad.
It
It's
is,
really
bro.
bad.
It is, bruh. Honestly, my biggest takeaway from this film is we shouldn't be spending $100 million for world building. That's my biggest takeaway from this film because that is the one thing that I will give this film credit for is it added a lot of depth to this new version of DC. Like this new DC universe, we're able to go off world. We're able to add layers and different characters and layers to not just Superman, but the world that Superman doesn't even know about. Superman doesn't go into space, and so I love how we've gotten a glimpse into that, and of course it'll affect him in the future. So it gives us more context to whatever's coming afterwards, and I really do love that. But if this was gonna be $100 million world builder, you could have just added this into the next big film as like a flashback or
Exactly.
like a quick aside to be like, oh, where you been? Oh, off world, and then like it flashes to like her fighting or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been like 5 minutes within a larger story rather than an hour and 30 of just something that I'm like, okay, cool. This was like Supergirl's version of John Wick. Oh no, they did something to my dog. I have to I have to go get revenge. Like it fried me, bro.
Honestly, I think what would have been way better for this film because I'm already seeing that it's bombing. Why don't you just save Supergirl until after Man of Tomorrow? Why don't you just save the movie until after Man of Tomorrow, where we see her as a side character in Man of Tomorrow,
And we'd
we
have
fall in
we
love
have
with
more
her,
time to fall in
and
love with her. Yeah,
exactly. And then we get her little solo story. That makes sense. That makes more sense to me than what you did here, where you just had her in Superman and she was just like this ending kind of cherry on top. Where like I like her little ending last scene, but
for sure,
like come on, that's obviously like an advertisement for the next movie and not really, trying to get you into what she's all about. So I think that was really annoying. But truly, if I'm being honest, my biggest takeaway from Supergirl was this movie has no clue what it wants to be. It has no identity.
for
Like
sure,
throughout watching the movie, I'm just like, well, that's Star Wars. And then through the next couple of scenes, I'm like, oh, that's Mad Max. And then through the next couple of scenes, I'm like, oh, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. So
for
I'm just,
sure.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm like, yo, what movie are you? Like, what are you trying to be? What's your signature? Why are you just mashing up all these different movies that you've seen that you think it's like ChatGPT? You put in ChatGPT, yo, ChatGPT, make a good comic book movie for me. And then it would give you like shit from Guardians of the Galaxy, shit from Star Wars, shit from Mad Max. It would give you these things. It would give you shit from the MCU. That's what this movie felt like. It felt like an AI trying to make like a comic book film
for
today
sure.
by today's standards.
For sure. And you know what my another issue of mine is? The story is taking away from the fact that like there are some shots in this film that are like genuinely amazing shots. Like genuinely some of like the best shots in like superhero movies that I can think of. There was shots in here that were better than the Superman movie that came out last year. And the bad story and like the subpar acting from the cast around Millie is bringing it to where people aren't even talking about that. People are just talking about how this was a waste of time and it was a dog shit movie.
Yeah, I mean, when you mention subpar acting, Jason Momoa, come get your baddie chain. You suck. All right? You suck. I'm watching this like, bro, this dude is corny. Like, this is supposed to be a character. This is supposed to be Lobo, right?
Yeah,
And he's been getting fan casted as Lobo for years. Fans have been like casting for Lobo. He's been like casting for Lobo. So he finally gets Lobo. And I'm just sitting here like, why is he here? Other than just because the fans wanted him to be Lobo. Like, what's his purpose to being
yeah.
in the story?
You know what he was?
Why?
What is the thing? What is the thing called? It's like somebody's gun or something like that. Where like
Oh,
if they show
Chekhov's gun?
Yeah, where if they show a gun, then like you're not gonna give us information that can't be used later. Like it's this idea that there shouldn't be useless information in the scene. He felt like Chekhov's gun for this movie. His character meant nothing outside of like helping a little bit to like to for plot devices to get Supergirl into a position to win. Like that's all it was. You know what I mean? And it
Exactly.
to me that's a waste of a character. Like you didn't give us
Exactly.
anything. His performance didn't give us anything, and to me, it was just like, all right, well, this might as well have been like Chewbacca in a Star Wars film, just a funny sidekick, and
Yeah,
kept pushing.
like Billy, let me ask you this. What do you think are the themes of Supergirl? Like what message is it trying to get across to you? Like when you watched it, you was like, "Oh, this is the message that I need to glean from this."
What is the message? I'm gonna follow that up with a question. What is the message of Superman? What do you think is the message of Superman?
I
Like
think
the
the
movie.
message of Superman is hope. It's literally hope maxing, but it's something deeper to it. Like inspire. It's to inspire others. That's
Right,
kind of the thing, like
hope
being
maxing in spite of, like, circumstances, being like,
exactly.
"Hey, I can be better than the circumstances that raised me." I think they tried to do that with this movie, that's what I'm saying. I think they are trying to do a through line of themes through both Superman and Supergirl to, like, connect them and be like, "Yo, despite her being this, like, oh, I'm trying to drink and, like, this, anti-hero, at the end of the day, who she is at her core is somebody that is supposed to inspire hope, somebody that is supposed to be like, hey, despite the odds, I am doing what's good. And I think they tried to do that. It just didn't land in the same way, no pun intended, as like the Superman movie that came out last year. But I do think that was the through line between these films. And I think that's going to continue to be a through line as long as like a Superman persona is the lead of a film. Now, once he expands outside of that, obviously that won't be it. But when it comes to Superman leading a movie, I think every time they'll try to do that, or at least that'll be a B or a C plot. And like I said, it just didn't land with this one.
Yeah. Another I think another problem that I had with the script specifically is that I think when we compare this to other comic book movies and why we love some of these other protagonists, like we love Iron Man, you know, RDJ is Iron Man. Not to compare, but it's just, you know, the fact that it's a comic book movie, fuck off. Uh, we love RDJ as Iron Man. Why do we love RDJ as Iron Man? This is a similar character who's like going through some stuff, you know, is like drunk, not the greatest, you know, person, but we like this person because he has charisma. Like you like him in spite of his flaws because of the charisma, because of the personality. I feel like in Supergirl, they didn't really allow Millie Alcock to show that charisma and that personality. The jokes were dry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The jokes were dry. Her personality, she seemed like in one part of the movie, she seemed like she Captain Marvel. The next part of the movie, she seemed like they make her Star Lord. She has like a similar jacket
Yeah.
to him. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? Like this is literally again, this goes back to the movie having no identity. Like Supergirl should have a distinct visual and personality and identity to her that you can say like, oh, okay, this is what separates Supergirl from every single other comic book movie. I can't really name you one thing that separates Supergirl from every other comic book movie because it doesn't want to be separated. It doesn't have that identity.
Yeah, I think Supergirl exists. I think okay, let me formulate this. I think that the creation of Supergirl, like James Gunn making Supergirl this movie and everything like that, I think his mindset is still in the mindset of like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago,
Yep.
where like all you needed for a superhero movie to be successful was for it to exist, was for it to like come out and people were gonna come in and like support it. I think we have long since left that era where superhero movies are bringing in big audiences, and I don't think James Gunn realizes that. And I think the reason he doesn't realize that is because in a world where superhero movies aren't like bringing in the crowd unless it's like big events, he has succeeded despite like things like Peacemaker have succeeded despite things like Superman have succeeded despite. When it's like when we go to the theaters, when we want these superhero films, we want something one of a character that we love, i.e. Superman, or two, if we're gonna give us a character that we're getting introduced to, make it good, i.e. Peacemaker. You know what I'm saying? Like not
Right.
every superhero IP is doing well. Like we've been left that era, and I don't think James Gunn is aware of that. I think he's
I
arrogant.
think James Gunn, you have to make a decision, buddy. Are you going to direct all these movies or are you going to produce these movies? Are you going to like look over and oversee and like let me check to make sure that this is doing good cuz this feels like a moment where he just gave the project to Craig Gillespie cuz he thought he was
Yeah.
like Matt Reeves and he could just, you know, do whatever he wanted. I know that there was an article that came out that was like, "Oh, Craig Gillespie actually said this where they were talking about the needle drop at the end. That's so bad,
Yeah,
so
yeah, they
bad.
did it.
Terrible
They
needle
they
drop.
went through like 45
Terrible needle
songs.
drop. They went through 45 songs and James Gunn was like, "No, we need this one." Like James, are you listen? Because if you want to do like a Superman trilogy, that's completely fine. You can do like your Superman trilogy, but this is a cinematic universe that you're trying to establish and
Right.
create with like different corners of the universe and stuff. This is hard. Yo, shout out to Kevin Feige. He told you this hard. I don't know if you want to do all this. He said that. He said that. It's hard, yo.
You know what's
It's
crazy?
hard.
I think this might be a hot take. I think Supergirl. I think we would look at Supergirl as a good like movie, quote unquote, if this entire Superman idea was a show like Peacemaker. Like if he made Superman into a show and it had multiple seasons, I think spending one episode on Supergirl to like give us more familiar with her would have been amazing. But the fact that we're doing this over the stretch of a couple of years and we're doing it in like hour and 30 chunks in big theaters, I think that's where it's like losing people. But if this were like an HBO show that dropped weekly, then I think we would look at the Supergirl episode and be like, okay, that was decent, but what all right, I'm ready for next week. Like this sets us up for next week perfectly. And I don't think that's good for when you're having movies that cost 100 million and you're doing it over the course of like 10 years.
Yeah, I no, I 100% agree. I also think that this continues to show that like I don't know if I can be confident in the direction that James Gunn is taking the DC universe. I don't know if I can be confident in that because again, comparing it to the MCU, comparing it to phase 1 of the MCU, we had Iron Man and then we had Hulk and then we had Thor and then we had like these big titular characters, come on the big screen. James Gunn, Superman, and then a character that's directly related to Superman, so that way we're getting the same exact style and kind of thing going on, and not
Yeah,
doing these other big characters like Wonder Woman, Batman. We're getting a Lantern show, but we're gonna have to we'll have to see how that turns out. But
I have no faith in that.
again, Flash. We again, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll have to see how it turns out. But right now, like, I'm kind of worried about the Lantern show. This makes me a little bit more worried about the Lantern show. Like, are they going to throw random needle drops in the Lantern show just because it's the James Gunn universe? Like, what are we doing? James Gunniverse, kill me.
Yeah, nah, yo, it's raps, dog. I don't know what to tell you. But we are in my favorite part of every single review that we do, which is we look at 1 star, 10 star, 5 star. We look at all reviews, whether it's on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes. We don't touch Letterbox. Ew. But any other place that we go to, man, we are there for it. I have this review pulled up. All right, this review is titled Horrible, all caps. It says, what a joke of a movie. So bad. DEI slop with one dimensional characters and a TDS infested script. For anybody that doesn't know, TDS, it stands for Trump Derangement Syndrome. It basically means that, like, overly negative reactions to anything that like Donald Trump does in order to characterize him as like in order to characterize the people who are having these negative reactions as like irrational or disconnected from Trump's
Well,
policies. So
I know
that's
what
what
type
that
of man you are.
yeah. So it says DEI slop with one-dimensional characters and a TDS infested script. Imagine liking this slop! Exclamation point. Do people even have standards for movies anymore? This gives me no faith in humanity. I can't even imagine thinking something this pathetically written and casted made it to the silver screen. Hollywood has officially reached a new low.
Listen, I think Supergirl was a rough experience. It was a rough experience for me.
For
I
sure.
don't know if the way that this guy got there was entirely ethical. I don't know about his process. I
You,
don't know, bro.
you
He's
know
I'm
how
questioning
terrible,
him.
but you know how terrible something has to be where like somebody on the completely opposite end of your political spectrum, somehow you guys are finding common ground on this one thing. Like, do we agree with him that like the film is terrible? Yes. But are we like, yo, DEI is the reason? No.
Yeah, that's not
Are
the
we
reason
like,
this movie is bad.
Trump derangement syndrome is a reason? No. And that's why at the beginning of this video, I wanted to make it clear to everybody that, like, hey, we don't, it's not that we don't like this film because we're misogynist, because this is the type of people that we're being roped into by being like, this film wasn't that good. Like, it's crazy that we're standing next to these people when they're like, this DI bullshit, this goddamn Trump, I support him, I don't support the film. Like, that's who we're standing next to. This is what you did to us, James Gunn. You made us hold hands with these niggas, yo.
Yeah, James Gunn, I agree. This is your fault. This is your fault. You started off your universe saying like, listen, we're quality slop. You can trust us. Everything that we put out is going to be quality, the highest. I have a standard of no less. And then you put out this dog shit. Like, bro, like this is your fault. This is your fault, bro. You put the battery in the MAGA people back. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You put the
it does feel like we have to like it almost makes me feel like I have to correct it and be like, no, I love the film, guys, because there are people who exist like this. Like because this is who's representing the idea that this film is terrible. It like it part of me feels like I have to be like, no, watch the film. It's amazing. I think I ended up doing that. I actually did that with Ironheart when that came out. Like I thought Ironheart was cool. Like I thought Ironheart was like it was middle of the road, genuinely. Like would I
like
watch a
Ironheart
season
more than
two?
Supergirl.
For sure, for sure. But would I watch a season two? Sure. But I didn't like love Ironheart. But when Ironheart came out, you had people calling the lead actress like slurs that I've never even seen.
Yeah,
Like
that was crazy.
they were going dumb on her. And so for me it felt like, damn, I have to overly support this because to do anything else means that I am being connected to these people. Like this is who other people see me as when I start critiquing this film. And that sucks to be a part of. This is like the dark side of reviewing and talking about like media that comes out is that like sometimes you get niggas that are like, oh DEI schlop, TDS. It's like shut the fuck up,
Right.
bro. Next review. What an amazing actor! Exclamation point. Dot 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 dot. The dog. Wow, I was super, no pun intended, excited to be one of the first to see the new Supergirl film. I've been hooked since the stinger at the end of the recent Superman movie, where we find out it's his cousin. And I'm laying the sarcasm thick here if you can't tell. Maybe she should have been a really distant cousin, or maybe there was some marrying between cousins not so far removed from one another back on Krypton. Well, anyway, boy oh boy, they've done it again. They managed to take another movie that you would have really have to make an effort to mess up, and yet turned it into a huge stinking pile of crypto's excrement. The James Gunn DC universe needs to do us all a favor and just implode in on itself into a black hole for the sake of the real universe. Like I said in the title, amazing acting by the dog. He really outshines Millie Alcock in this
I don't like that one either. I
film.
disagree. I disagree, man. Saying
Yeah,
the
the
dog, I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, the
Sometimes,
dog was the worst part of the film. There was multiple times in the
yeah,
John where I was like, "Yo, this CGI sucks on the
right. This
dog."
dog looks horrible. Like,
Dog. Like, you know what's crazy? I couldn't get a read on how big the dog was because it felt like it kept changing throughout the film. I was like, "How big is this dog?" This dog is like one moment, not, and I'm not even because they did flashbacks. I'm not even talking about in the flashbacks. I'm talking about like there were some moments where you're like, okay, this is like a normal dog, and there were moments where other moments where you're like, this dog is fucking huge. Where how big is what breed is this dog, yo?
yeah.
The one
Supposedly it's supposed to be based off James Gunn's like personal dog, but like,
yeah.
fuck you, James Gunn. Fuck you and your dog.
Stop doing
Okay?
self inserts, James Gunn.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
He literally
The
put
one
himself in the universe, by the way.
did he?
Yeah, there's the first the DCU did not start off with Superman. It started off with Creature Commandos.
He
And
did,
in
yeah,
Creature
yeah.
Commandos, he was like talking to the characters that are in there. Like he's in the
Uh
show.
I didn't actually watch Creature Commandos, so I wouldn't have
I
known.
didn't watch it either, but I saw that clip.
I saw the clip. The biggest critique I have with this review is that in the middle of the review, he tried to imply that like he again, this is talking about Millie Alcock's looks. He tried to imply that like Millie is inbred. It's like, oh, are you sure it's a cousin and not some distant cousin that was marrying another cousin back on Krypton? Like, again, they don't talk about the film, they talk about everything surrounding it. They love
Yeah.
to be like, "Yo, the politics of the film I didn't agree with," or "Oh, she's not attractive." Like, okay, like what are we doing? Like, is she doing a good job? Why do you need to fuck everything that's in front of you? Like, I'm sure this person that left the review, and I'm sure that everybody else has left the review on the looks of Millie Alcott, they look terrible. I'm sure that Millie Alcott would look at them and say, ew. I'm sure of that actually. And the fact that they have the audacity, it's weird that this relationship that we have with celebrities, where because they are a representation of ideas, we dehumanize them in ways that are like sick, bro. Like this is a person that you're sitting here talking about. This is a person that you're making edits of. She's on the same internet as you, and you're spending most of your time being like, "Oh, she's ugly." What the fuck? Was the story good? Did you have a good time? What are we talking about, bro?
Yeah, it's genuinely disgusting that that's what people are talking about because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to hear these reviews and see people like criticizing the writing or criticizing some of the direction choices or like literally anything about the movie itself and not something that's like outside of it. You
Yeah,
know, just
literally.
criticize the movie. Criticize what happened in the movie. Don't criticize her. Like that's crazy and it's like
It's
bullying. Like
insane.
what are we
It's
doing?
literally bullying. And for anybody that's gonna question it, I don't screen these reviews before I read them. Literally, I'm that to help like better get a better reaction and more like genuine reaction. I don't screen them, so I'm just as surprised as Zay whenever I'm saying these things that are in these reviews. Like I'm like, what the fuck? What am I reading? I literally just pick them at random, and then whatever comes up comes up. But any final thoughts, Zay? We've already given our rating 4 out of 10 from the both of us. Any final thoughts?
Yo, DC fans, DCU fans, don't speak on the MCU, bruh. Don't speak on my GOAT. All right, don't speak on us. Spider-Man Brand New Day just broke the trailer record again. All right. Don't speak on my GOAT. All right. We doing 2 billion this summer. We doing 2 billion in Christmas. We doing 2 billion next Christmas. We got the X-Men coming. We got more Spider-Man, more Fantastic Four, more demons coming, bro. Don't speak on us. Get your shit right. Okay? Then you can talk to me. Thank you.
My final thoughts on the film. A waste of time, bro. In a world where you have to decide like what you're gonna do with your weekend, you don't have to go watch this film in theaters, bro. This is probably the one time, not the one time. I'm gonna do this again. You could pirate this film. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but thank you for watching PCC, man. Post Credit Clarity family. We are excited to have you here. We're excited for you to watch other videos. We're excited for you to be on this journey, man. We are really, really, really close to breaking 500 and finally being monetized. So if you guys can help, if you've made it this far, you might as well help us do that. Subscribe, tell your friends. We're two niggas talking about film, yo. You get what's not to love.
Facts. Facts. We're special. We're cinema. Come on.
Come on, yo. Come on. And I promise you won't have any post credit clarity after you've watched our video, man. Yo, you see what I did there?
I like it.
Yo, come on, yo. Demon, yo.